Hey, so there's a lot of pressure on Congress right now to get more stimulus payments out to everybody. In fact, there's a lot of these petitions that are going out there to try to put pressure on Congress to try to get them to get more stimulus. And that's why you have these big budget plans right now. You have Bernie Sanders, you have all the Democrats are trying to push for getting these stimulus payments out. And so one of the things that they're talking about here is the reluctance of the government has made the citizens restless. This has resulted in several petitions being initiated. All the petitions propose extra cash from the federal government. Out of this petition, a couple of them have gone particularly viral. The ones initiated by Representative Ilhan Omar and Stephanie Bonin have grabbed significant attention. The petition launched by Stephanie Bonin asked for $2,000 monthly payments for everyone. In recent statement, Bonin stated that $1,000 worth of child tax credit stimulus checks should be made permanent for the children. Omar's petition calls for $1,200 stimulus checks to be provided to the adults. The children should be given a sum of $600, with the median income slumping to $6,521, and all these petitions gaining mass. The government is under serious heat. So you have the Ilhan Omar, she is in the House of Representatives. She's one of the progressives in the House. She has this Support Act. Now, the Support Act wants to get $1,200 stimulus payments on a consistent monthly basis, not just a one-time payment. That's the Support Act. Will this be added to this big giant budget plan? I don't know. Sometimes they sneak these in there because they're trying to get past the Republicans to get these bills passed. Now, the Republicans, they love to spend money on their own programs. They just don't want to spend it on getting more stimulus out to everybody. I think the Republicans, if they really wanted to get some more stimulus out, they should take an incentive to get people back to work. Right now, the job openings available right now is about 11 million people, or 11 million jobs that are open, so people can take those jobs. Last month in September, only 194,000 jobs were added to the unemployment, which is just it's a terrible number. But what they're trying to do is, if they can come in and incentivize people to go back to work, that would be a great stimulus. It would be give everybody $1,200 payments, then go back to work. I like to see that. I'm also encouraging people to try to, if you can, take your stimulus checks and buy some hard assets. Try to get some gold and silver, maybe some cryptos. The only reason why is because they're printing so much money right now. The federal government, they're going to spend another $5 trillion into the economy. Yeah, the national debt is going to be over $30 trillion. And people say, well, it's just the government. They can just print their own money. But what printing all that money does is it adds inflation out there. So you inflate the dollar supply and all the prices start to rise. That's why I'm trying to encourage people to at least pick up some hard assets. Land is very good, gold and silver, and then cryptos are very good. Cryptos, you can go to places like Gemini, Coinbase, pick up some of that. In fact, if you took that $1,200 payment, bought BTC back in March of 2020, and you held on to that, it's worth $9,000 as of today. So that would be, that'd be a great investment for you. So that's why I'm trying to encourage people to get some of that gold and silver, let that accumulate, hold the value of that. Getting hard assets, it's very, very good right now, because you have Bernie Sanders and all of the people in Congress. They have this infrastructure bill that was $1.9 trillion. It's just absolutely a staggering amount of money they're going to try to print and borrow. Then you have the $3.5 trillion budget plan. The infrastructure bill is going to be the jobs plan, so that's going to give more people back to work. And then the budget plan is going to be the American Families Plan. That is going to get people the stimulus payments that they need. The child tax credit is going to be extended out through the year 2025. That's going to be a monthly payment that comes in to everybody. Social Security is going to be bumped up by another 5.6%. But the thing is that inflation right now is running about 10 or 11%. Then it's putting so much pressure on Social Security right now. In fact, they're trying to get a new payment. They're trying to get a $1,400 payment out in Social Security. The Senior Citizens League is trying to get more payments, $1,400 payment. So if you are SSI or SSDI, I think they're going to try to push, maybe possibly get another check out to you. That would be good news for people that want to get another stimulus. Now, those of you that have the child tax credit. There's going to be 2 more payments, November and then December are going to be the next 2 payments. October was the last one, just happened last week. So you have November and December are going to be the last 2 payments, and then they're going to stop that. But I think they'll get it passed, this new bill passed before the end of the year. I know for sure. They're trying to get it passed by the end of this month, at the end of October. So if they can get that passed, it'll be more stimulus, but I don't know if they're going to be able to get it passed because of the fact there's 2 Democrats right now that don't want to vote on it. Joe Manchin, he is a senator from West Virginia, and then you have Kristen Simeon, she's from Arizona. They just think it's too big of a bill. They think it's $5 trillion. Now Bernie Sanders, he would love to just take a check and just write it for $15 trillion. Why not? It's just, it gets to the point where it's too much burden. I think the inflation is absolutely going through the roof because they're trying to borrow and spend too much. Yeah, they raised the debt ceiling up by another $480 billion, but then they have to come back in December and they got to do the whole charades again about the debt ceiling, about how it's going to be defaulting on their payments. I think the federal government should not default on the payments, but at some point, those checks they give to people's Social Security, the dollar is just going to absolutely collapse. It's not going to have any more value anymore. That's why hard assets are going to be good, especially if you're only getting a small check from Social Security. I would highly advise you to pick up some of that, cryptocurrencies, or try to pick up some of that gold with that money that you're getting in. If a new stimulus check comes out, if a 4th stimulus check comes out, go try to pick up some land. I know it sounds crazy, but maybe you can put a down payment towards getting some land. If you can, pick up some gold and silver. You can just go to local coin shops in your area. But I try to use that money for picking up that hard asset, because this $3.5 trillion budget plan, that could be the 4th stimulus check, but eventually what's going to happen is they're going to want to come back and do another $8 trillion or $10 trillion. They're just never going to end it. They're never going to stop and say, we need to stop this spending. We need to maybe bring in some of these programs that we put in. But government won't do that. Government is in the business of continuing to try to increase themselves. Yeah, if you work for government, it's great, but the dollars that are coming in, they're not going to buy much in the future. Now, a lot of the states, though, are coming out and doing certain things with the stimulus money that they have. Each state received billions and billions of dollars. For example, California, they received something like $30 billion. They're taking that money and they're using it to stimulate their state. They're giving out $600 checks. I think there's like close to 3 million checks that went out in California. You had to live in California and you had to file your returns with the Franchise Tax Board in order to get that check. So look for those checks to go out. If you didn't get one yet, they are already starting to go out in the state of California. Colorado had $375 that went out. Connecticut and Arizona are 2 states that are actually incentivizing people to go back to work. I like that program. I think that's a good program. I think that incentivizing people to go back, get into the workplace is great. The reason why is there's 11 million jobs available out there, and they're available for people to take, but people aren't going out there and they're not getting back into the workforce. Florida right now, they're trying to incentivize their teachers to get back to work. Also, they're sending out frontline workers, EMTs. There's about 200,000 EMTs or frontline workers that are going to be getting checks in the state of Florida. And then you have Georgia, Michigan, Tennessee. These states right here are also giving out checks to teachers in that state. And then New Mexico is $750 direct payments. That's Human Services Department said that about 4,000 residents are going to be getting that. Now, one of the things is New Mexico, they're only spending $5 million out of $1.8 billion that they got from the federal government. So what are they going to do with the rest of that 1.8, 1.7, whatever it is, money they're going to be getting? I don't know, but I think they should take that money and stimulate their states to make it good. Also, New York, $2.1 billion is going to, it says, excluded workers fund, and those payments will be going out. The New York City is also giving out $5,000 to artists. Not sure why they're excluded, but they seem to be getting a $5,000 payment. I think it's taxi cab drivers are also going to be getting payments too, and then the homeless, there's a bunch of money. It's like $120 million for homeless in New York City. Some of the other states like Tennessee are also sending out the checks to the teachers, and then you have Texas, which is going to be sending out individual stimulus checks, $2,000 payments to people in different cities. So like Irvine is getting a $2,000 payment to try to get teachers back to work. Some of these states, they have huge education lobbyist groups. That's why they're pushing to get these payments out to people in that state. So if you're in a state that doesn't have, or they're not sending out stimulus checks, you might want to reach out to your governor, maybe want to reach out to your legislative people in your state and let them know that there is money in the treasury, and then they need to start getting that money out to everybody and getting those payments and stimulus payments out to try to stimulate the economy.